you're laughing at me. You have been bad before. FM. This is Eyewitness News, live at number 11. Dr. Martin in Adabraka in Accra. With me, Ni Larte. This evening, I'm here with
Akosua Otchere.
And coming up,
a contract is a contract, and our human rights must not be abused because we are caterers. Are we not human beings? Are we not citizens of Ghana? Are we not serving the nation?
Basic school children across the country to go hungry as full-blown nationwide strike by angry school feeding caterers takes off over non-payment of arrears and government refusal to increase feeding fee under the program. Still on Eyewitness News, Ghana's failure to make payments to holders of local currency bonds issued before the domestic debt exchange leads to a downgrade of the country's long-term local currency issuer default rating to restrictive default. Tonight, we delve into the implication of this on the struggling economy. Also, Judicial Service staff throws challenge to Chief Justice nominee Gertrude Tokonu to do better and outrank outgoing Chief Justice on issues facing the judiciary. Stay with 97.3 CTFM for more on these and other stories on Eyewitness News. And later, when we take you to the world of business with Michael Ogodu.
World Trade Organization chief warns agricultural subsidies could reach $1 trillion by 2030.
That will be in the next 50 minutes. And later on Eyewitness News, all roads lead to the Cosmopolitan tonight as the huge clash between England's top two teams, Manchester City and Arsenal, headline City FM's Premier League roadshow. Eyewitness News is live across the country on our partner stations in the Western region. This is Premier FM 100.5 in Takrady and Beach 105.5 FM, as well as Sky Power 93.5 FM, also in Takrady in the Western region. In the Bono region, this is Greener 95.9 in Sunyane, Hames Radio 106.5 FM in Goso in the Ahafu region. If you are listening to us in the Ashanti region, this is Orange FM 107. Volta region, this is Akpini Radio 96.7 megahertz in Pando and Heritage FM 107.3 in Hohoi. In the Northern region, welcome to Dasuma 99.1 in Yendi, Upper East Word FM 88.3 in Zwarungu, Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura in the Upper West region, and Eagle FM 94.1 in Wale in the Northeast region. The show is also live on Facebook on City 97.3 FM and also on YouTube on CityTube. Eyewitness News is interactive. Tell us what you make of the story. Share your views and thoughts via WhatsApp on 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM. My name is Larte here with Akosua Otchere. This evening, our first story has to do with a nationwide strike declared by caterers who are owed under the government school feeding program. The reason exactly is that the government has failed to pay them their arrears and also increase the amount per child. Well, today, the caterers drawn from various regions across the country actually converged in the Ashanti regional capital of Kumasi. They have laid down their tools, insisting that that is actually the option available to them. Let's get what really their concerns are and speak with Kwame Amankwa. He is national organizer of the School Feeding Caterers Association. Good evening to you, sir, and thank you for joining us on Eyewitness News. Hello, Mr. Amankwa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, we are grateful that you joined us on Eyewitness News. Why do you want school children to go hungry from tomorrow?
It's not only the tomorrow that we are talking about. Hello?
I can hear you.
Yes, the reason why is we started the school feeding program 2017. Hello?
Mr. Amankwa, I'm listening to you.
Yes, we started this the school feeding program on 2017. Since the amount per a child or a student in the school is 97 pesos. So when we started this program, since we are buying, is sometimes the oil self is 240 Ghana cedis. But as I'm speaking to you, the oil is 850, and they are still paying us 97 pesos. So we started this issue for about 2 years ago that they have to increase our the school feeding amount for us. But since the normal of letters, petitions that have been writing to the secretariat, wherever, but still there is no response. So we decided that if that be the case, we don't have anything. The only thing we can do is we have to stop cooking in the kitchen. That is all.
So school children will be studying on empty stomachs, essentially what you are saying. But let me find out from you, aside from the issue of the 97 pesos that is paid you per child, are you able to tell us how many months you are owed, and in terms of value, how much is the debt owed you?
For the debt there, you know, this issue started as far 2019. There are some people who are under payment There are some people, some of them are even the whole thing. Since 2019, there are people who are not even paid, but some of us has been paid. So our issue now, the pressing issue we are talking about now is the increment and the delay payment and the underpayment that we are talking about now. So if they can give us this, I mean, the assurance that they can increase the amount for us at least 50 pesos or something like this, we are okay with it.
But you admit that you've been engaging authorities as well as stakeholders in this particular
that
issue,
and you say that the engagement, there is no response about the engagement that we did.
Yet you are looking for an assurance. How do you get this assurance you are looking for then?
Come again.
You are saying that you have not been able to reach an amicable, a resolution with stakeholders in this particular issue. Yet you want them to assure you that they are going to pay. Who are you seeking this assurance from, and what form of assurance do you want from the stakeholders?
Oh, as I'm speaking to the assurance that I'm talking about, I don't have any assurance with any authorities from now until maybe when they see that we are still on strike, they will come.
So if you say you engage authorities, who did you engage?
We engage the secretariat. They are the first, institution or whatever. Because we are working with them. So we cannot do anything without them. That is the secretariat.
Who specifically at the secretariat did you meet and the person refused to provide an explanation to you?
When you go there, they only tell you that, people should be patient. Government is on the pipeline, so and so. But as I'm speaking to you, there is no response throughout the country. No response.
And so now that you have declared a strike, does it mean that you are just not going to, cook for these school children until when?
Okay, Master, as I'm speaking to you, even if the secretariat come out to tell us that, okay, my people, there is no money. We are still waiting. You people should go and cook. After cooking, we will get you this amount. If you agree, we will go and cook. Because this contract is a pre-finance. Fine. But they are still owning us almost a year. They are still owning us. So if the secretariat will come out, or the school feeding authorities will come out that, you caterers, we are going to give you this amount. That one, fine. Then we can get some, at least, hope. But if you are working with somebody, there is no communication. They don't even call you for a meeting. If you go there, they don't even mind you. They only tell you that be patient, things will be well. But my brother, 97 pesos for a child. You check around. There's no, it's not clear, because if you buy one egg, it's 3 cedis. How do you cook for a child for 97 pesos? And you are asking us to go and cook, my brother.
Well, so if I get you clearly, your point is that if the secretariat meets you and gives you any amount of money for you to return to work, you are going to do exactly that.
Yes, we are going to do that. If only we agree with the amount.
All right. Well, you are also pushing for an increment. You say that the 97 pesos is woefully inadequate, for which reason you want it increased to 3 cedis 50 pesos. That's enough?
Yes. The 3 cedis. Is it the 3 cedis 50
Yeah, I'm asking, how did you get to that calculation that you are satisfied with?
Oh, in fact, you see, when we are cooking, we cook in bulk. So, if we are able to give us, you see, the 97 pesos, we stopped cooking just about 3 weeks ago. We were managing, but the things are so hard for us to do that 97 pesos. So if they can give us at least 350 pesos, we can manage it. Because we are not happy. We are not happy at all for us not cooking to for the children. See, sometimes some of the children, they will come to school without holding anything. Sometimes we the caterers, sometimes one will come, oh, say, please buy us a water. Buy this for because my mother didn't give me any money. So buy me water. Sometimes we sacrifice and buy them water. A kid will come to school without anything. He is expecting that at least they are coming to eat. Some of them even come to school because of the food. And we are trying our best. So the school feeding authorities to also try their best for us so that we can start the job. If only they call us today that, okay, caterers, we have understood your situation. So you push go and cook tomorrow. We will make sure the government will pay you 3 cedis, 50%. When they are done with this, they should write it. We will agree. We will go and cook. We will still talk to our debtors that, this is what the government is saying. If government is owing you, whatever the situation, he will pay you. So we push you, give us the product. We will go and cook. But without calling us, we won't go to the school and go cook for the kids.
So for years unending, if you are not called by the secretariat, you still remain at home and you'll not be cooking for these children.
That is correct.
But today you met in Kumasi in the Ashanti region.
We met there Monday.
You went there on Monday?
Yes.
And when you went there, what happened? Tell us more.
Oh, we did a press conference at the Kumasi.
And so in that press conference, I believe that you issued a number of, directives to your members. Are you able to share with us these directives that you communicated to your members as you begin your nationwide strike?
Oh, they were on the strike already before we joined them on that Monday.
I'm talking about the nationwide strike because other regions have joined. Is that not correct?
Yes. Yes, other regions have joined.
And you also threaten to hit the streets if your concerns are not addressed. When are we to expect that?
The decision we take by ours. The decision we take by the members.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Amankwa. He is national organizer for the School Feeding Caterers Association of Ghana, telling us about the nationwide strike that they have declared following the government's failure to pay them arrears and also the refusal to increase the amount paid per child. So today they met in Kumasi in the Ashanti region to announce this particular industrial action. They lament that the harsh economic conditions they are facing and also attribute their strike to the non-payment of their arrears, as I have already mentioned. And so caterers across the country will from tomorrow not cook for children under the school feeding program. That's not all. They have also threatened to embark on a nationwide demonstration if the issue is not addressed. We've been speaking to the organizer of the Ghana National School Feeding Caterers, Kwame Amankwa, on the group's position. We are trying to get a response from the secretariat here on Eyewitness News. 97.3 CTFM. We're taking a break. When we return, we bring you that response from the Ghana School Feeding Secretariat.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
For Pepsodent, smiles are one of the most important things we have. The problem is, globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Pepsodent, with maximum cavity protection, helps to prevent the formation of cavities. Pepsodent, because every smile matters. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
You know, Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how's your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you. Can't feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry, Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're welcome back. The Deputy Attorney General, Alfred Tuah says he is of the assurance that Justice Gertrude Tokono's candidacy for Chief Justice will not face any setbacks. The Council of State is expected to advise on the nomination, which will then pave way for Parliament to take her through the approval process. But in an interview with City News, the Deputy Attorney General indicated that he does not foresee any hindrance since the same Parliament approved her to the Supreme Court.
When it comes to the appointment of the Chief Justice, it is the prerogative for the President, acting in consultation with the Council of State. The President has done what he's supposed to do as the President, and our decision is to nominate someone and give the name to the Council of State. As to what the Attorney General, that Attorney General plays, the Attorney General is appointed by the President. So as to what happens between the President and Attorney General, it's not something for public consumption. But I can tell you that the President went through what he's supposed to do. He has now presented the name to the Council of State, awaiting their input.
I ask this question because normally before the appointment, names come out, and then we hear within the grapevine that there are consultations ongoing, and because it has to take approval of Parliament, you also want to cover the bases, and having selected Justice.
Well, that's actually an interview City News' Hansen Ajeman had with the Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuah. We'll be bringing you that particular interview later on Eyewitness News. But for now, we want to return to our earlier story that has to do with the strike declared by the School Feeding Caterers Association. I had told you that we'll be seeking answers from the Ghana School Feeding Secretariat. Thankfully, we've been joined on the line by the head of public relations at the Ghana School Feeding Secretariat, Alpha Siba. Mr. Siba, thank you for joining us here on Eyewitness News this evening. Hello, Mr. Siba.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening, and good evening to your listeners. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you here on Eyewitness News. I'm sure you've heard the concerns raised by the angry school feeding caterers. We know that they've always been embarking on strike over the non-payment of their arrears and also your refusal to increase the feeding fee under the program. Why have you sat unconcerned giving them the money, in failing to give them the money that they've worked for?
Well, thank you once again. But if you say we sat down unconcerned or we refuse, as if we have the means and we deliberately didn't want to.
But what then is the problem?
Yes, so, yes, we are aware of the situation. First and foremost, let me greet our cherished caterers and to let them know that, yes, I think everyone knows that the issues they have raised are legitimate. There are concerns that I think everybody will agree with them. But our point of departure is for them to say that they will not offer their services until their issues are brought to a resolution. So that's where we think I would disagree with them, at least for the benefit of the school children who are vulnerable. And, it will be a sad specter to go into the schools and see children who have come to school knowing that they will come and eat, only for them to be told that food will not be available. So that's what we are always trying to avoid.
And it's on this note that we also appeal to the caterers to at least continue whilst we dialogue, whilst we engage the relevant decision makers and our partners to ensure that we are able to resolve the issue. And one of the major concerns they raised was about the upward adjustment for the feeding grant. And then this issue, we have also answered it. I think the last time I was speaking to your radio station, I did say that even in this year's budget, the Honorable Minister of Finance has indicated that government has approved the increment for the upward adjustment for the increment for the feeding grant. Yes, at the moment it's 97 pesos per child, but the caterers are saying they want the government to increase it to at least 3 cedis. And so work is still being done. Government is looking at it, and I'm sure in the coming days we'll hear something about the increment that will be mutually acceptable to all of us. And then the second thing they raised was this arrears, the delays in the release of the feeding grant, which we have also acknowledged that yes, indeed, the arrears have delayed, but it's due to the economic situation all of us know we are in. And then we have also made a request long ago, and we have been given strong assurance that the government is seriously mobilizing the funds to be able to defray the outstanding arrears. As we speak, we have 2 terms. The one that we have third term for 2022 arrears, as well as the first term. So these are the 2 outstanding terms for us to clear. And then we hope that government has heard our request. They have received the request, and they are working on it assiduously. So we only have to once again talk to the caterers, appeal to them that yes, their grievances have been addressed, and so they should, as much as possible, go back to their feeding centers and continue to feed the school children.
You are pleading with the caterers to rescind their decision, but you are also aware of the fact that they owe suppliers. And so how do you expect them to cope, especially in the face of the rising food prices and, economic difficulties in the country? How do you want them to manage the situation?
Yes, that's true. I think one of the benefits of having this interaction is for also the suppliers to know, yes, indeed, the caterers owe them, but they know that the caterers, they have been hearing from us that, yes, we have told them publicly that, yes, we are yet to pay the caterers. So at least they should give us some breathing space for us to pay them. And when we pay them, I'm sure they will also pay their creditors. And so what is important is for the caterers also to try to let the suppliers understand that this is the situation. We have come out to tell the whole world that, yes, indeed, government is owing the caterers this amount, this number of terms. And indeed, it's true. And then we have made a request. And we are sure that at any moment or at any time, the funds could be released for the caterers. And so we also want to extend this plea to the suppliers that they should be patient with the caterers. That we are sure that they will come and clear their debts with them.
Well, when I spoke to the organizer of the Ghana National School Feeding Caterers, Kwame Amankwa, a while ago, some of his points were indicative that they have not been able to reach an agreement with you as a secretariat. Reason being that whenever they try to engage you, you refuse to give them a listening ear. Exactly why?
Oh, I don't know why he's making that. Why he's making that remark, because only some few weeks ago, you recall, I think your station was there to cover. They were at the secretariat. We have kept an open secretariat. Everybody could walk in and then ventilate their grievances. And so, I don't know. You should tell us who has turned them away. Because as far as I know, management is available to hear them and then try to address their concerns. So nobody will turn them away. Why should they be turned away? We even cherish such a laudable engagement, because it's there that we'll be able to solicit the ideas and be able to address the issues. Otherwise, how are we going to address this issue? So
maybe you open your arms, but you've not given them the response they need. Exactly what he told me.
Yes. These are things that cannot be done overnight. We should also appreciate that. We were talking about money issues and then the sources of getting the money. And then let's be mindful of the fact that it's not only one-time payment. It's going to be, once there's an increment, it's going to be there until another increment. So it's not a one-time payment. It's going to be there perpetually. We'll be paying them each and every term. So I'm sure we have to be careful how to be able to draw the parameters, to be able to see the funding sources, to be able to define it clearly, so that when an announcement is made that, yes, this is the amount that, this is the rate that government is paying them, then it's going to be there. But if you hurriedly would have taken anything into consideration and announce, and then you are now able to follow through your, what do you call it, announcement, I'm not sure it's going to be well. So, yes, we are working on it. We don't just have to promise them just because they are agitating. We don't just have to make any empty promise. We have to ensure that we have tangible facts to be able to present to them, so that all of us will appreciate. And mind you, we are not the only person speaking. We are engaging all the relevant decision-making bodies and our partners. That's what is really important, so that we'll come up with a very agreeable decision that all of us will buy into. And then we are also taking into consideration the current standard of living, so that whatever rate we announce, we have the input of everybody, all the stakeholders, so that it will be a very comprehensive decision, not only the decision of the school fees secretariat.
Well, you say work is still being done, but for how long? When will this work be completed? Any specific timelines? Because the caterers say that until you give them their money, we should forget about any food for these school children.
Yes, as I did tell you, an announcement could be made at any time, at any given time, because work is being done. And immediately we are through with the work, I'm sure we'll not hesitate to come and tell you the outcome of the meeting and the engagement. So for the caterers,
so as we speak, you are unable to tell us exactly when these works will be completed.
I told you, it's not only the secretariat, my brother. We are engaging all the relevant stakeholders, all the decision-making bodies, all our partners, because this is an issue that we have to address it once and for all. We have to address it comprehensively. So we don't have to only scratch the surface. If you recall, this thing has been coming up and every now and then. It's not only today. So we have to take a concrete decision to ensure that we are able to solve it once and for all. Not only for this side, but at least we know that subsequently we will not be hearing some of these issues, because our primary concern is the children, the beneficial peoples. You see, it's very sad to visit the schools and see children who have come to eat, but they are turned away, or they are told that it's not available. That's very sad. That's what we have been trying to avoid. So we are urging the caterers to exercise restraint, and then those of them, if genuinely some of them are not able to cook, we know that perhaps they are not able to cook because they have no means. But I'm sure it's not all of them. A majority of them are able to cook. Even when we pay, still you find out that some of them are not able to pay because some of them may be sick, or they may be heavy downpour. They are not able to go to the feeding centers, or where they are short of fuel, cooking fuel, and so on and so forth. And so we know those of them who are also able to cook. But we commend them, those who are still cooking.
Some of them are and so cooking. In these negotiations that you talk about, have you considered the 3 cedis 50 pesos increment these caterers are talking about? Is it something that the secretariat is able to work with, if indeed it plans on increasing the feeding grants?
So that is their proposal. They are proposing the 3 cedis.
What is the stance
so
on
we
the
don't know, as I told you, we don't know what eventually government will come up with, and we are sure whatever the outcome is going to be acceptable to all of us, because it's going to take so many things into consideration. It's not only the feeding grant, but as I was telling you, you have to clearly define these funding parameters. How are you going to mobilize the funds and pay? So all these things are things that must be taken into consideration before making an announcement. But I'm very confident that whatever announcement is made is going to be acceptable to everybody involved.
Very well. But my final question to you is that now that you are unable to give us a specific timeline, what you are essentially trying to say is that between now and when you are able to give us an exact date on when you are going to pay these caterers, school children should be studying on empty stomachs.
Yeah. Come on. I've not heard you, please.
I'm saying that now that you are able to tell us exactly when you'll be able to make payment to these, angry caterers, you are satisfied with the situation at the schools that children will be going hungry now that the caterers have laid down their tools.
Oh, nobody is satisfied about this situation. I don't know whether you have not been hearing me. I was making a point that our primary concern is the children.
I'm hearing you, but I'm just asking. Asking the situation in the schools now. Children will not be fed, and so it will be a difficult moment for parent.
Yes, definitely. Because as I was saying, children will come to school knowing very well that the parents will not give them maybe money to come and buy food because school children, the caterers are there to feed. That's why we are working assiduously. We are working around the clock to ensure that they rescind their decision to come back to the feeding centers and continue their work.
All right, thank you very much. That's Alpha Siba. He is head of public relations at the Ghana School Feeding Secretariat, giving assurances that the government will be making payment to caterers who are owed under the Ghana School Feeding program. Let's return to our story that has to do with the Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuan-Yeboah giving assurances that Justice Gertrude Tukonu's candidacy for Chief Justice will not face any setbacks.
When it comes to the appointment of the Chief Justice, it is the prerogative for the President, acting in consultation with the Council of State. The President has done what he's supposed to do as the President, and our decision is to nominate someone and give the name to the Council of State. As to what the Attorney General wrote, that Attorney General place, the Attorney General is appointed with the President. So as to what happens between the President and Attorney General, it's not something that's for public consumption. But I can tell you that the President went through what he's supposed to do. He has now presented the name to the Council of State, awaiting their input.
I ask this question because normally before the appointment, names come out, and then we hear within the grapevine that there are consultations ongoing, and because it has to take approval of Parliament, you also want to cover the bases. And having selected Justice Tokonu, how do you think the various divides are going to take this nomination?
I think there was nothing like competition. You may talk about interest, but whether you have an interest or not, the appointing authority is the ultimate person to decide who is supposed to occupy that office. So from what I'm sitting, among all the Supreme Court judges, each one of them is qualified to be Chief Justice. But only one person should be appointed. And the President has looked through the numbers and appointed one person for the consultation of the Council of State and subsequently for the approval of Parliament. So to me, there's nothing like blocks or divide or divisions, no.
Do you expect to have any difficulty with the consultation and the parliamentary approval process?
In fact, Justice Tokonu appeared before Parliament not long ago for her approval as a judge of the Supreme Court. She didn't have any problems. From the time that she was appointed up to date, until or unless there are things that may go against her, from what I said, I don't see how maybe her nomination may be rejected by Parliament. But of course, Parliament may have other reasons that they think that she may not be qualified to be the Chief Justice. The Council of State, as we speak, they are also in the process of also helping the President to finally submit the name to Parliament. And I think the Council of State also, prior to the appointment of Justice Tokonu as Supreme Court judge, went through a similar process. So he's not someone who is not new, someone who is well known within the setup. And I expect that the Council of State will endorse what the President has said, and the list will eventually be sent to Parliament for Parliament to do its job. Parliament, as you all know, is the representative of the people, and they may have other issues that they may want to find out from the nominee. We are looking forward to the day that she will appear before Parliament for vetting.
Having been a private legal practitioner and acted for the past years as Deputy Attorney General, when it comes to justice delivery, what do you say will be your expectations for the next Chief Justice?
I'm looking at how speedy we can have cases heard in our courts. And speedy trials, I've always been saying that it's not a one-way traffic. It is a tripartite exercise. The judge is involved. The judge, then I'm going to talk about it, that's the bench is involved. You have the bar, that's lawyers involved, and then the parties. So if the three parties are able to agree on a common ground as to how we can speed up trials in the courts, definitely that's something that some of us are looking up to, how we can speed up hearings and the trials in the various courts.
You mentioned 3 legs to this. What role can the Chief Justice play to make sure that we achieve this?
Yes, she has control over the judiciary, for that matter, the judges, and that within her setup, there may be other guidelines to the judges as to how they manage their courts. So at the end of the day, even if the parties and the lawyers agree on the matter, it is the duty of the judge to either reject or accept. So she can put whatever she may want to use in speeding up trials through the bench, and I expect that she will do so.
Now, for the past years, whether justifiably or wrong impressions, there have been some attacks on the judiciary since the 2020 election petition, and there have been attack among some quarters about the unanimous FC. Now, there are those who are thinking that one great role that will be upon Justice Tokono is to, quote and unquote, restore confidence in the judiciary. Do you think that, one, there's any confidence at all to be restored, and 2, how she can go about with this?
Yes, when we talk about confidence, I can assure you that there's confidence in the judicial system. People talk about unanimous decisions and arrests. Maybe they are not practitioners in the courts. Those of us who have done this job for the last 20 years, you go to court, and majority of the decisions are on unanimous basis, especially those in the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. Because, for example, if 3 judges sit on a matter and they agree on a certain point, why should each one of them write his own or her judgment? But it's also allowed that a judge may want to dissent. So everything depends on the judges. It's also allowed where a judge may even agree with you, but for different reasons. It's also allowed when the judge decided that they're going to give the decision unanimously. And if that is what the judges have decided to do in some cases, I don't see why people should be complaining.
That's Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuayeboa in that engagement with my colleague Hansen Ajiman. Meanwhile, the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana has also set a bar for Justice Gertrude Tokonu as the best Chief Justice with the issues of labor at heart. The General Secretary of the association, Yakubu Abdullahi, indicated that their expectation for the next Chief Justice is for her to work towards eliminating any form of intimidation and mistreatment of their members.
At least as far as the currency day is concerned, we are cool. The doors are open. She says, whenever you need something, look, we are cool. After when you need something, come to my office. I'll do it for you. And the support has been massive. That was why we gave him the honor as the most labor-friendly CJ in the history of the judiciary. And we are hoping that when my lady comes, when our mother comes, she's going to break that record. She's going to make her door open 24/7 for us to come and address issues of labor, issues bordering on our promotions, issues bordering on training and retraining of staff, issues bordering on disciplinary matters. When it comes up, at least members will be dealt with in accordance with the law and with some level of consideration. These are the issues some of the issues that we think is going to be done. If you look at the judiciary, sometimes we seem, though we are the third arm of government, we seem not to have the kind of support. Though over the years we've had new courts being put up, this edifice is there. But if you go to some courts in terms of logistics, in terms of certain financial commitments that are supposed to be released to the judiciary and other things, we seem to have those kind of challenges still existing.
Yakubu Abdullahi is General Secretary of the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana. Still on Gertrude Tokonu's nomination, and some legal practitioners have welcomed her nomination as the next Chief Justice of the country. Let's hear from some of the lawyers sharing their views.
Well, I've appeared before her when she was sitting at the Commercial Court, High Court Division, and I see her as somebody who is strict and would uphold the law. But the test has always been when political cases that are against the government come before the court. That for me is the real test. As to what she can do, we only wait to see when she takes over office. But my expectations are that at the moment, the confidence in the judicial process is not the best. And so her first responsibility is to see how she can plow back the confidence in the justice delivery system. She must put in place some reforms which will bring back the confidence that has, as it were, gone low.
I think it's an excellent nomination to begin with. She has gone through the ranks as far as the judicial system of Ghana is concerned. She first started as a judge of the commercial courts when the commercial courts was established. She's one of the judges who manned the courts. She used to sit and think at commercial court B or F. I've forgotten exactly which one it was, but she was at the commercial court. And subsequently, she was promoted to the Court of Appeal. And then, after almost 11 years at the Court of Appeal, she was promoted to the Supreme Court. And now she's been made the Chief Justice. If you look at the work of a Chief Justice, it's an administrative position. And so given her experience, right, as far as the judicial system is concerned, having been within the system for a while, I think that she's a perfect fit in terms of, the appointment. She's a perfect fit.
Well, so you heard some members of the legal fraternity on their expectation of Chief Justice nominee Gertrude Tukonu, essentially to improve the confidence of the citizenry in the judiciary. This is still Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTFM live from our studios here at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka here in Accra. My name is Larte here tonight with Akosua Otchere. Stay with us because we'll be talking about the latest Fitch downgrades of Ghana's long-term local currency to restrictive default.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
For Pepsodent, smiles are one of the most important things we have. The problem is, globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Pepsodent, with maximum cavity protection, helps to prevent the formation of cavities. Pepsodent, because every smile matters. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're welcome back. Former President John Dramani Mahama has called for the resignation of the Minister for Health over challenges with the National Health Insurance Scheme. Mr. Kweku Agyemang-Manu, during a Ghana Health Service senior management meeting in Kumasi, noted that complaints from NHIS subscribers suggested that the scheme was not functioning. Speaking to constituency executives at Sefri in Bia East, Mr. Mahama said patients with NHIS cards are being turned away from health facilities because government is not paying the claims owed to the hospitals.
National health insurance, and I want to tell the minister, he himself has admitted that he has failed. Because if he's not been able to grow the national health insurance and he says it has failed, then he has no business being the Minister of Health. He should resign. Because today, if you take the national health insurance card, you get nothing in the hospital. And most of the hospitals are turning the national health insurance card bearers away because they are not paying their claims. The whole of this year into last year, all the treatment that National Health Insurance gave to the card bearers, they have not been paid for it. And so how do you expect them to continue treating them? The minister must resign.
Voice of former President John Dramani Mahama. Away from that, the National Communication Authority has assured the data safety of mobile subscribers within the Central SIM Registration Database. Concerns have been raised about some breaches of data by industry watchers by the authority. Joe Anoche, who is the Director General of the NCA, at a press briefing in Accra, gave the assurance and also announced that the over 11 million SIM cards unregistered will be deactivated on May 31st.
Every active registered SIM in the current SIM registration database can be traced to a unique Ghana card. Every active SIM in the SIM registration database. And when I say SIM registration database, I'm referring to the central SIM registration database, not the individual SIM registration database that is held by MNOs. The individual SIM registration that is held by MNOs include those 11 million. Those 11 million, they are not in the central SIM registration database. They are not in the central SIM registration database. The central SIM registration database has 25,448,962, and these can be traced to 13,982,557 unique Ghana cards. Let me repeat. It's important to note that Ghana now has a SIM database that has integrity. Every active registered SIM in the current SIM registration database can be traced to a unique Ghana card. That was not the case at the beginning and onset of the exercise.
Well, the NCA has also justified the directive to major industry player MTN to suspend its data zone service. He said MTN, which had been identified as a significant market player, breached the regulations.
Now, so far, MTN have been in compliance with all SMP measures. However, in January 2023, NCA took note of an MTN product called MTN Data Zone Bundle, a 24-hour data bundle which offered discounts of up to 35% for the various data. Some market players raised concerns about the predatory nature of this package. Consequently, the NCA engaged MTN and reviewed the products. It was found that for a number of price points, the MTN Data Zone Bundle was the lowest in the market in violation of the SMP directive. Also, the required product approval was not obtained before the product was rolled out. Further, the license obligation of all MNOs to publish their tariffs, including the terms and conditions, was not adhered to in respect of this product. MTN was therefore directed to discontinue the product until such time that all violations have been remedied. After a series of engagement with the authority, MTN complied with the directives and the product was withdrawn on 5th April 2020. MTN has since submitted a revised data zone bundle.
That was Director General of the National Communication Authority, Joe Anoche. Now, Fitch Ratings has lowered the long-term local currency issuer default rating of the nation to restricted default from CCC. This action was taken due to missed payments on certain local currency bonds issued before the domestic debt exchange program Although last month, Ghana's rating was upgraded to CCC from RD due to the successful completion of the local debt restructuring in February 2023, the downgrade reflects missed payments on bonds that were not tendered or held by ineligible entities for participating in the domestic debt exchange program.
This is still Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTFM live from our studios at number 11. Dr. Martin Lube in Adabraka here in Accra. My name is Larte here with Akosua Otchere. Stay with us because we return with the latest in the world of business with Michael Obodu.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News, powered by citybusinessnews.com. My name is Michael Obodu. Let's settle for the details now. The Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has warned that agricultural subsidies worldwide are a ticking time bomb that could reach $1 trillion by 2030 if actions are not taken to curb their growth. According to Okonjo-Iweala, the bulk of these subsidies are found in developed countries and emerging markets, creating an unfair advantage for those who can afford them. Speaking at a discussion hosted by the Institute of Economic Affairs on the theme Making Globalization Work for Africa yesterday, Madame Okonjo-Iweala stated that current estimates place the total cost of global agricultural subsidies at between $500 to $800 billion, a staggering figure she believes will only continue to rise unless the situation is addressed.
For years, it is a very problematic area because, as you say, there are large subsidies. Agriculture subsidies now are calculated to be anywhere between $500 to $800 billion. That's huge. If we don't do anything, we could reach $1 trillion by 2030. And most of these subsidies are in developed countries and emerging markets. And as you say, they do, because we don't have the money to subsidize, it means that those who have can have an unfair competitive edge with respect to the agricultural products. Cotton, the biggest problem we have actually in Africa, it's not even food products or anything, it's cotton.
You heard the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Madame Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Now, the Minister for Trade and Industry, Katie Hammond, is advocating a restoration of a fully functional two-tier dispute settlement mechanism and better systems to enable developing countries benefit from multilateral trading systems. The minister notes that this will give the system the needed predictability and certainty under the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Now, away from that, the Ghana Shippers Authority has stated that high transportation costs in shipment of international cargo in Africa is hindering the competitiveness of African businesses on the global market scene under the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. According to a report by the World Economic Forum, the AFTA is projected to increase intra-African trade demand by 28%, with demand for almost 2 million trucks, 100,000 rail wagons, and 250 aircraft by 2030. Speaking at the opening of the Union of African Shippers Council's Committee of Experts on Transport Cost, CEO of the GSA, Ms. Benonita Bismarck, called for strategic measures to ensure the growth of the sector under the AFCFTA.
The critical role played by international trade and economic development is well known by all of us, particularly as a driver of economic growth and prosperity for the people of our dear continent. However, the transportation cost in the shipment of this international cargo in Africa has become prohibitive and forms a significant proportion of the cost of imports and exports. This development impacts negatively on the competitiveness of African businesses on the global market scene. The World Bank estimates the transport cost in sub-Saharan Africa averages 50% higher than other regions in the world, forming a significant proportion of the overall cost of goods. The high transport costs in Africa stems from inefficient supply chains, poor transport infrastructure and networks, lack of economies of scale, and inadequate regulatory frameworks, among others. Unfortunately, it is our shippers who have to bear the brunt of these challenges. The multiplier effect is the consistent rise in the general prices of goods and services and its attendant adverse effects of stagnated economic growth.
You heard the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Ms. Benonita Bismarck. Now, the CEO of the Namibian Tourism Board, Digo Nobeb, is calling on Africans to actively patronize tourism destinations within the continent, especially under the AFCFTA. He believes that this will not only boost African economies, but also decrease the demand for foreign currency. In an interview with City Business News, Mr. Ngobeb emphasized that Africans should not overlook the fact that the continent remains a popular choice for travelers from other regions of the world.
We need to really trade amongst ourselves because tourism is also an export industry, and for that, but you need to travel to a destination in order to consume the product, and in that way you are injecting money into the economy, and that way you are growing economy and creating jobs. More often or not, we see each other in Africa as people who are job seekers either, or you are economic refugee, but definitely us in Africa do have the means because most of us are traveling for our holidays and vacations to Europe or either to Dubai or either to United States of America. However, in fact, we have the hidden gems. Why are the Europeans, in fact, traveling to our own countries, yet we are traveling to Europe as if we do not know what we are having? So, in fact, what we are trying to do with our visit to Ghana is to create that momentum that definitely what you can do, or what Europe is offering or Dubai is offering, can be found right on the continent, in particular in Namibia.
That was CEO of the Namibia Tourism Board, Digo Ngobeb. That's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. It was powered by a most comprehensive business website, citybusinessnews.com. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe.
All right, thank you, Michael Obodu, for giving us the latest in the world of business. But that's how we end today's edition of Eyewitness News, because as you have well advertised, that big game in the English Premier League is the title race between two of England's top teams, Manchester City and Arsenal. We want to take you to the Cosmopolitan at the Elbeam Heights at Jolu, because our Indefatigable Sports team is on standby to give you that live commentary on that big one. Good evening to you, and thank you for joining us on Eyewitness News. Have a good night.
City News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302-224959 and get interactive on Facebook, City 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at